There were supposed to be 5 lunch bags on the table in a row like this, Jason says, and he draws a sketch. The sketch we can see down here on this in this area of the grid. The students from the 5 sports were Sue, Anthony, Tom, Mike, and Deb. They were each from a different sport and brought a bag tied with a different color ribbon. Okay, so now we're ready to try to solve the problem. They first off go to see Mrs. Fabugini. Mrs. Fabugini says this: there were several students going to the event. I saw one student in a football jersey carrying a lunch bag with a green ribbon. All right, so then we can say that the football student had a green ribbon. So that's an O there, and X's for the rest of that row, and X's for the rest of that column. I also saw Sue. She carried a lunch bag with a blue ribbon. So here we go to Sue, and she had a blue ribbon. So we're going to put an O there, X's for the rest of that row, and X's for the rest of that column. The last person I remember was the student wearing the big swim team robe. I can't remember anything else about him, except the lunch bag he was carrying definitely did not have a yellow ribbon. So here we go. We were talking about the person in the swimming, and they use the pronoun he. Or I can't remember anything else about him. So we know it's not a girl. So we're going to X out Sue, and we're going to X out Deb, because those are girls. And it says that this swimming guy definitely did not have a yellow ribbon. So we're going to X out yellow and swimming. Then they went to the foods teacher. The foods teacher started talking and telling them important information. Everyone was on task, she said, and put her face in her hands. What if I get fired? Then when Rachel asks her to explain what she knows, Mrs. Wellington says, well then, let me tell you what I remember. The student making sushi asked for the red ribbon. Oh, right, so now we know that sushi had the red ribbon. So we'll put an O there, and X's for the rest of that row and column. Another student in a soccer uniform asked for an orange ribbon. So soccer used the orange ribbon. So we put an O there, and X's for the rest of that row, and X's for the rest of that column. And I remember seeing a student in a volleyball uniform making a sandwich. So we go to volleyball, and they made a sandwich. So we're going to put an O here, and X's for the rest of that row, and X's for the rest of that column. She goes on. Mike refuses to make anything that requires a pie crust. Well, we know quiches use a pie crust, so he can't make a quiche. Deb hates anything with seaweed, so she wasn't making sushi. So I'm going to put an X for Deb and sushi. Oh yeah, Anthony was making salad. It's his favorite thing to make. Isn't that funny for a football player? So Anthony was making salad. And he is a football player. So we're going to put X's in the rest of that row and the rest of that column, and the same thing over here. X's in the rest of this column and the rest of this row.